Ontario's forests have been actively logged for over 200 years. Throughout that time, large tracts were cleared for agriculture. But the light soils were unsuitable for farming, and the removal of trees led to serious soil erosion, and many of them were abandoned. As early as the 1920s, the provincial government began assisting municipalities to reforest these wastelands. This was the first real expansion of forested land in Ontario since the end of the days of settlement.
There was a massive afforestation effort done in Eastern Ontario over the last 60 years, 70 years. Larose Forest is one of the earliest, largest community forests that has been replanted on a lot of the blow sands that were there. And all throughout Eastern Ontario, even across Southern Ontario, is that we've done a number of afforestation programs trying to convert that old marginal farmland that's been abandoned back to a forest. But we just can't do that overnight. We do that through the planting of conifer species mainly, and over time through progressive thinnings is that we will have a mixed hardwood conifer forest that will hopefully within 100 years or maybe even longer perhaps mimic more of our natural forest.
Starting in 1950s during the agreement forest era, the county in partnership with the Lands and Forests at the time, now MNRF, started purchasing properties that were deemed to be better suited for forestry purposes than agriculture. So we're standing in a red pine plantation that was planted in the 1950s that used to be a farm field.
Communities across Ontario own and manage over 100,000 hectares of forests. Returning these lands to their natural forest takes time. It's also a gradual process, where the forest changes dramatically from a pure pine plantation with trees in rows to a mixed forest with a variety of trees of different ages and sizes. Tree marking and harvest guides the transition to the natural forest that suits each site. Throughout the process, the goal is to improve the quality and diversity of the forest ecosystem.
With the forest, it takes a long time, but being observant and always going back to see what we did it work, did it not work, and then tweaking our management styles and the things we do, the machinery that we use, the different planting methods, planting stock, looking for cones. This year's going to be a bumper crop of cones. And it's being observant and seeing what's happening and what's working, and our failures, and grasping our failures and realizing that didn't work. Okay, so how do we make it work the next time?
In sustaining and even expanding forested land, communities and local citizens are stepping into roles traditionally left to the provincial government and its agencies. These new stewards are managing forests to meet the same social, economic, and recreational needs as Crown forests, but in ways that reflect local values and input. It's another way that the citizens of Ontario are becoming directly involved in sustaining their forests for the future.